3, I'd like to call this meeting the meeting of the Competitive Edge Charter Academy regular board meeting to call to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to note that all board members are in attendance this evening. And are there any changes to the agenda? Superintendent Binks, any changes to the agenda?
No, there is not. Thanks.
Seeing none, can I get an approval for the posted agenda? So moved. A second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes with a 5-0 vote. We do have a public comment this evening. Welcome, Ms. Mendez. Yes, she has a news bag.
That's what I'm known for, right? Look at these bad lady. Is this on? Oh, it is on. Okay. Good evening, President Bogue, Superintendent Binks, members of the board and cabinet. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm here as a teacher from CECA, and I'd like to take this moment to highlight both the successes we should celebrate and the challenges we must address together. First, I want to highlight the incredible variety of after-school clubs and academic interventions available to our students. With over 24 clubs, ranging from Mandarin to Best Buddies to the 100-Mile Run Club, our school provides a rich landscape for students to explore their passions and develop new skills. Beyond these enrichment opportunities, our teachers devote countless hours to providing after-school interventions, including homework clubs, a math lounge, and a reading supports. This dedication goes above and beyond their expected day, and it is a testament to their commitment to making a real difference in the lives of our students. Secondly, I'd like to celebrate the remarkable achievement of our reclassified English language learners and the staff who worked so hard to make this possible. Their success is a testament to the hard work of the students themselves, as well as the unwavering support from our classroom teachers. This year, we were able to reclassify 6 out of 22 of our EL students, which is nearly a third of our English language population. Of those 6, 5 were from our kindergarten classes, and 3 of them were my very own students. We were thrilled to be celebrating our students and staff who worked so hard for this significant accomplishment. While it is always wonderful to celebrate our successes, we must also reflect on areas where we can improve. I am here to share a concern that affects our entire community, the safety of our students and staff. A secure learning environment is non-negotiable, and it is a concern that has been raised by many. At CECA, we are particularly concerned about the fencing around our school. With the height of just 3.5 feet, it is easily maneuvered by both students and adults. This not only puts our campus at risk for intruders, but also endangers our students who have a tendency to elope. Additionally, we continue to see an escalation in student behaviors that involve physical injury and violence towards staff and other students. We urgently need more opportunities for counseling services and mental health supports to meet the needs of our 715 students. Our campus houses both elementary and middle school students, essentially making it 2 schools in one. Yet, we only have a single counselor to accommodate all of these vastly different needs. I am here to encourage the board to consider this area of need. I am advocating for the support that both our students and staff deserve. In conclusion, we have so much to celebrate in our district, from our comprehensive extracurricular offerings to the academic achievements of our students. By working together to address this critical need in safety, we can ensure our schools remain a place where every child and teacher feels supported and safe. In closing, I want to thank you again for your time and for listening to my message this evening. As a small token of my gratitude, I would like to leave you with some stickers and Post-it notes of inspiration and encouragement. I hope that as you visit our schools and our classrooms, you might use these as a reminder to leave a token of appreciation for the amazing work our teachers do every single day. Our teachers pour their hearts into making a difference in the lives of their students. They deserve to be recognized for their hard work and dedication, and I believe these simple gifts can help them feel valued. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Andrews.
I'm not giving gifts at the next one. I'm giving two set of gifts at once. No, so you are the gift. I know the student board member doesn't come to the CECA one, so I'm gonna leave it for her every day. And will you guys tell her about her gift? Sorry, Jill, you don't get one. This would be for the student board member.
All right, that concludes our public comment section. Moving on to the advisory committee report.
Hello, haven't seen you for a couple months. Okay, at our PCAC meeting last week, we started off the September meeting with a share out of current STAR reading and math data for the beginning of the year assessments. Mr. Mead talked about the expected growth rate from beginning of the year scores to the end of the year scores, which is an expectation per student of an increase in scale score points of 40 to 60 points. Students will use their beginning of the year score to create reading and math goals for each of their STAR math and reading benchmark assessments throughout the year. According to Mr. Mead, we are building stamina, engaging kiddos so we get real assessments. Second thing we talked about was our Starry Night camp out and STEAM night. It took place last Friday. I know a few of my grandkids, that was one of their favorite things they used to do. There's tents all over the field, and it's an overnight thing, as well as participating in STEAM activities. Staff members put on STEAM presentations, activities for students, and our PTO had dinner and visits from the Sheriff's Department, games, and a movie. Third thing we talked about, the Presidential Service Award has been discontinued, so we now have the Grizzly Service Award that will be awarded to students and family as who go above and beyond in giving back to the community throughout the year, and very important in at competitive edge. Enrichments and interventions began last week, and as Mrs. Madrid talked about, 24 after-school options are available for students and families, and wonderful, wonderful opportunities. We talked about, Mr. Mead gave us an update of the sixth grade music band and instrument purchase and the purchase of outdoor weightlifting equipment for our kiddos. And we got an update on the Step Up to Writing training on the last group of teachers and the scope and sequence of the skills that will be gained by grade level. Lastly, I just wanted to second Mrs. Madrid, having worked with many of these teachers that are there today. I'm very aware of how the staff at CECA go far above and beyond. They do a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, moving on to the consent calendar. Are there any items needed to be pulled by the members for individual vote? 4.04. 4.04. With the exclusion of 4.04, can I get an authorization to ratify, for ratify changes in certificated or classified personnel assignments, leave of absence, resignations, and terminations, and salaries in accordance with the recommendations on the consent calendar? I need a motion for approval.
I move that we accept all of the agenda, and you want to, and with the exception of 4.05? 4.
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to section 4.04. Can I get a motion for approval on this item? Can I get a second? Any discussion?
I just wanted it to be separate because I wasn't here. I didn't want to
Okay, understood.
approve the minutes.
You got it. And then, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, chair votes aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? So motion passes with a 4-0-1 vote. Moving on to additional administrative information. All right, board member comments? All right, seeing there are none, meeting is adjourned at 6:13. Practicality said Joint Unified School District regular board meeting for Tuesday, September 9th. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to note that all board members are in attendance, and Superintendent Binks, do we have any changes to the agenda?
Thank you, President Vogt. Yes, we do. Unfortunately, our wonderful student board member is out ill tonight. She had a presentation that will hold to the next meeting, but we hope that Kim feels better soon. So 7.01 is gone.
7.01 is eliminated. With that elimination, do we have, can I get approval for the agenda?
Move approval.
Second.
With a first from board member Bannister and a second from board member Avila. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion was approved with a 5-0 vote. And for section 3.05, we had nothing to report out from closed session. We have a few highlights this evening. In section 4.01, Superintendent Binks.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to invite Mr. Bradley to address the board with a safety team update. And I would like to say that it's really nice to be able to say safety team, because we now have a team that is helping, and it's making a wonderful impact on our district. So.
All right, good evening, President Vogt, members of the board, Superintendent Binks, members of cabinet. Just like Superintendent Binks said, it's really wonderful for us to have a safety team, and I feel so lucky that I get to work with Tim and Michelle here, who are going to introduce themselves shortly. But I first want to thank you for your support in our safety program. You're going to see these wonderful things they're giving out. They're not nearly as awesome as what Ms. Madrid gives out every meeting, but I really tried. Those were designed by Michelle. They turned out wonderful, didn't they?
Wait, they don't feel.
They're not sensory either. Man, I had to follow Ms. Madrid.
For the public that can't see, we have I'm a Safety Monster sticker that actually are for the elementary students, but we've been wearing them all week. So, and they were designed, like Mr. Bradley said, by Michelle Acosta.
So sorry in advance to your custodians. Okay, so we'll roll right into it. The presentation that you're going to see is really an all-encompassing presentation for our safety program. We're not going to hit on every single thing because that would be an incredibly lengthy program or a lengthy presentation. So we're just going to go over the updates that we've been able to make ever since over the summer, since my new position as manager of communications and safety, Tim's new position as safety specialist, and Michelle Acosta's new position as our very first school safety officer. It's awesome. So I still manage our communications program, but now I have taken safety under my wing as well, and I feel really fortunate to be working with Tim and Michelle, who are going to introduce themselves and kind of let you know what their role is. I know you read about it in the Friday letter, but now you get to hear it directly from their mouths, and I'm really excited for them to come up and share the things that are really important to them, because it's not just a job that we're doing, it's way more than that. It's something that we're fully invested in as a team. It's something that we focus on day in and day out, even after hours, because protecting our employees and protecting our students and our property is one of the most important things. Without any of those things, we don't have a public school. So I'd like to bring Tim up here to introduce himself. Mr. Ryan?
Thank you, Lance. Good evening. I would like to echo, I'm really excited to be a part of this team. It's really been just a wonderful experience to work with these two people. We all really work well together, and it's just really fun. So as he mentioned, sorry. Part of what I do is a lot of it has to do with like the radio communications. I support the school sites by helping procure radios, so the two-way radios, walkie-talkie communications. And there's a lot that goes into that, making sure they're set up on the right channels and that people are familiar with the process of using radios, with our protocols, and how to just communicate effectively So I support the sites with that and with troubleshooting with any issues they may have. Some of the things that I do is handle the automated external defibrillator program. We have like 44 AEDs in our school district, strategically located throughout the district, and the board has been very supportive in the school district and making sure that we have those safety measures in place to protect our staff, our students, and the public. We do training with that with our employees every year, and so that's quite a process as well. One of the other things that I work on is the playground safety, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. Working with students, working with our staff that are out on our playgrounds and making sure that they're safe, checking surfaces and play areas. And so that's a little bit of what I do, but I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to Lance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ryan. And I feel like I can't apologize enough to Mesa View for stealing Michelle Acosta, but she's going to come up here now and kind of share about her new role as our school safety officer. And both Tim and Michelle have made such a great impact over the last couple of months. And I can't wait for you to hear from her.
Hi, good evening. I'm excited to be up here. This is something we've been, as lead security, have been asking for a while now, so I'm excited to be the one to kind of lead the charge. Some of the items that I'm going to be working on is working with our lead security and their staff, along with our yard duty teams, which in the past our yard duty teams have only had their admins. They haven't had anyone else, and so they're excited to have someone to work with as well. I'm also going to be working with our standard response protocols and procedures, and we're working on aligning those throughout the district. So if a staff member or student goes from school to school, they are aligned and it's not different. Everything is very similar and just tweaks for each individual schools. We're also going to be working on the emergency response procedures, also aligning that throughout the district. And then also, I'm one of the PCM trainers for the district. So in that role, I also get to help our security and our yard duties and our rest of our employees as well with training and getting everyone the different trainings that they need to be able to do their jobs.
Okay, enough introductions. Let's roll right into this. So there's so many different facets of school safety. It really is just a vast program that covers so many different things. And like I said, we're going to try to touch on the things that we've only really done the last couple of months. And then as things are updated and the board wants another update, then we can provide updates on the other items. The first thing that we're going to talk about are our comprehensive school safety plans, which are actually on the board agenda tonight instead of in March, as it's been in the past. And I'm going to invite Michelle back up here because that's really what she's sort of taken control of, and it's become her baby.
So our comprehension safety plans, we have a couple of things that we have already changed. And one of them is our instructional continuity plan, which developed for our Ed Services Department. That is now updated in our comprehension safety plan. We've also changed, so we have a review now of the comprehension safety plan. Once you guys approved it, it will go back to the sites, and the sites will take it to their safety teams and go over it with their safety teams, and then they will approve it. And then we're also, we've got the new timeline, which makes it more efficient for the schools. Instead of getting the new comprehension safety plan in April, we're now getting it in September, and then they can implement it throughout the school year. So along with that, we've also done our emergency response binders, which a lot of people call them our big red binders. And we updated those already, and those are already at the site. Along with updating them, we also implemented new procedures for them and also new forms for them to align the district. So everything is in that one binder. If we have an emergency, that one binder will have everything that you need for the commander on site. And along with all of that, we also are doing a safety checklist for our sites. So this is going to be a working document. We're going to be working with our sites to be able to improve it. And it goes over every month on things for safety that they should be checking on our sites. Walking the fences, checking gates, checking the playground, items like that, that sometimes get, left behind, we're now got a checklist and we're gonna make sure that everyone's being checked on a regular basis. And the sites are working with us to make sure that everyone's doing it the same way.
Great, thanks so much, Michelle. And so site threat assessments, this is something you've probably read about in the Friday letter. So we have the opportunity to partner with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. They have a gentleman by the name of Joe Sutcliffe. And he is a complete safety guru, safety nerd, and we were really fortunate to get time with him. His specialty is basically inspecting government buildings for safety from all kinds of different things, whether it's environmental safety or it's, people safety. He really was a huge help. But we have comprehensive reports now for each of our secondary sites. And we're going to be able to work through a lot of the low-hanging fruit that's not going to cost the district anything, that's going to really make our school sites safer. And it's anything from, you should plant a different kind of plant here that's going to keep people out of your flower bed, to this piece of wood or this broom that's sitting outside this double-handed door can be put through there and people can be trapped inside. So it really was a great thing for our schools. And then I'm going to pass it over to Tim to talk about playground safety just a little bit more.
Okay, so we're working with our school sites to help improve the safety on our playgrounds. And one of the ways that we wanted to help with that was to put together like a little checklist that is what you have in front of you. It's just like a quick little guide that really just covers things to do daily, which check like your surrounding areas to see if there are like any animals or any things of concern, maybe some strange cars or people outside of that area. Look for vandalism or any type of trash or anything that might need to be taken out of that play area before the kids get out there. And then just checking the equipment to make sure it's in good, proper working order. If something doesn't look right, then we want to go ahead and let somebody know so we can get it taken care of. One of the things on that list is the temperature safety for the equipment. So if you look at the temperature section there, you can see there's temperature ranges that we're going to go over with them. We're going to provide them with a no touch, just a temperature infrared sensor that they can check the equipment. The metal surfaces are going to be easier to burn much quicker. As you can see, plastic and other materials have a higher temperature rating because they don't conduct as much. So, but these are, you can see it's like green, orange, and red. So it's something that's very easy for them to use, and they can do that throughout the day and then make adjustments. So we feel that this is really going to be helpful. We have a lot of warm days here in Southern California. That's not anything new. So this would be a good tool for them to use.
Thank you, sir. So the last thing that we're going to cover as far as planning and preparedness is our safety bunkers. They've really been an essential item. It's something that's meant to maintain our schools for 72 hours should our students and employees not be able to leave. So Michelle, it's another thing that she's really been taking head on, and we're basing a lot of it on the Community Emergency Response Team, CERT, which we're a CERT district. We really try to push to get everybody trained. But Michelle, if you could come up and close out planning and preparedness.
So we're working once again to align our districts where all of our bunkers have the base needs for all of our students. And then once they get the base needs, they can adjust it to their site specifically. And we're making sure that we align with our CERT, because that's what our emergency, the emergencies when they come on, they will deal with CERT as well. And so once they get onto our campuses, then we'll already be set up for CERT and they can come right in and help us out. So we've developed a new, list of bunker items, and then once we get all those for our sites, then the sites can customize it to their individual site.
Great, thank you, Michelle. So let's talk about physical safety. I can, there was some question about fencing during the Competitive Edge Charter Academy meeting, and fencing is definitely one of our priorities. We're really trying to get to where the Department of Homeland Security standards are as far as fencing. But I wanted to provide one example right here and this is really the work of our Maintenance and Operations Department and our Purchasing and Facilities Director. That's a wrought iron fence that was put in at Parkview to close off a certain part of the campus that was accessible. not necessarily accessible from the outside, but it let our students from the inside of the campus access like an emergency access road. And closing that off was huge. Also, you know, if you go to any of our schools, they all have the electronic door entry, just like the district office does. You ring the bell, you got to be let in. And then the door viewfinders, I just wanted to cover one thing on these really quick. These are flipped. So if you look through them, everything is backwards. If there's a kid on the left-hand side of the image, the kid's really on the right-hand side of the door, because they use fancy mirrors to make it you can see a lot if you look through them. It's a really wide range, and the mirrors make it all flipped and funky, and I don't know how to figure it out. But they work. And then cameras, just a quick update on cameras. You know, cameras I think is going to be a really big priority for us district-wide, especially at our secondary sites and our elementary sites. As you can see, this is a screenshot. We're fortunate enough, you know, along with Tim's relationships that he's had previously working in the district, to acquire a new camera system at CECA. Not really a system, but just new cameras overall. And kind of the reason that we decided to go with CECA is because they had a strong infrastructure for it, and they had so few cameras. And so it's easier to ask for 5 or 6 cameras than it is to ask for 30. And so that's kind of why we went with that. And some of our other sites have aging infrastructure that we're gonna have to address before the cameras get installed. But it's pretty incredible. I'll let Tim talk about it here briefly, just some of the features that come with new camera systems and artificial intelligence that's integrated into them.
Yeah, thank you, Lance. Yeah, we were fortunate enough to be able to be part of like a pilot program with Hanwha. They approached us about installing some cameras with showing us some of the new features that they have. The camera has the ability to store it on the camera, so you're not dependent on any additional equipment. It uses a lot of the artificial intelligence that's used nowadays. Such things as like clothing, it can be look for a shirt that's a certain color, pair of pants, could be also like a backpack or a bag. There's a lot that can go into it. There's license plate recognition in some of these cameras. So they gave us a bunch of different cameras to try out so that we can get a feel for them. And so we're really excited about that. And we're currently working with that. Our maintenance department helped get them installed. And so we're working with them right now to give them feedback, and it's looking very promising. So we're excited about that.
I can tell you the shirt color feature at CECA doesn't work very good. Probably not the best school to test that at. And then real quick, just to cover our community partnerships that I hope everybody knows about. We're so fortunate to be in an area where everybody prioritizes safety and prioritizes our schools. So we have incredible relationships with both cities, both of our fire departments, both of our sheriff's departments, Crafton Hills College, the water district. We really have a wide range of support from so many different organizations that are willing to come and do what's best for our kids and best for our employees. So, you know, it's just really fortunate where we live and the people that care about each other. One quick thing, you know, so the campuses were, sorry, let me go back to the city. I'm trying to jump ahead and be fast. The city of Yucaipa, two of the great things that we have a partnership with the city of Yucaipa is our crossing guards and then our STARS program, our after school program. And Michelle is going to be really instrumental in aligning the STARS program with our safety program. So they're going to know what to do, and they're going to be able to conduct fire drills and lockdown drills just like we do and know what to do. Because, you know, they may be city employees, but they're on our campuses, they're under our care, and it's our duty to keep them and the students safe. So real quick, I'll have Michelle come up and kind of talk about how she's working with them.
So we were fortunate, as a team, we addressed all of the STARS counselors before the school started. We were able to go over all of our standard response protocols with them, along with identifying where all of the safety items were, AEDs, and what their first aid were. So if they had any issues, they were able to find them immediately. I'm also going to be checking in with them on a regular basis to make sure that all their needs are taken care of and that they don't need any more help with stuff, and everything is the way it should be for our safety of our kids.
Training. So there is so much training that goes on with safety, but really the one that's coming up more recently than any other one is the Great American Shakeout. The Great American Shakeout happens every single year. It's a worldwide event. Happens on October 16th at 10:16 a.m. and it prepares people for an earthquake. It's the drop, cover, hold like we used to do in school, and like each of you, all the teachers and employees that are in the crowd do with your kids, every few months or so, or every month. We're going to do the same things we did last year. It's going to be a full CERT setup, community emergency response team, where those bunkers are going to get emptied, the gear is going to come out. We're going to have scenarios, and the scenarios could be that there's a gas leak, a teacher can't get her kids out of a classroom, there's a custodian's missing, and it's not to play I gotcha. It's really just to see where we're at, give us a foundation for the rest of the drills for the rest of the school year, and see how we can improve. And then we have all of our safety support programs. There's so many, and really the two that or three that I would like to hit on is Raptor Visitor Management and Emergency Management System, and Stop It, and then BART as well, electronic monitoring. So Stop It has been just an amazing program for the district. I've spoken with many other districts, and they haven't had quite the success we have, and I think can be attributed to the buy-in from our administrators and our employees at the sites. They really have given this as a tool to our students, and our students use it. Our students use it like crazy. We get stop-its every single day, multiple stop-its, even on the weekends, after hours. It's nonstop. But we really don't get that many fake ones, which is surprising. The other districts I've talked to, there's some county offices of ed that actually provide it to all of their districts, and the districts have chosen not to adopt it even free because they just had this plethora of fake reports coming in. And we had maybe 4 or 5 when it first started a couple of years ago, but we're 100% good now. And then Raptor Visitor Management, we were able to get self-serve kiosks at each of our sites. So instead of hey, give me your ID, and it goes in a scanner, and then it spits out the tag, and our secretaries and front office staff have to do a lot of that work. Now it's an iPad that's in every single front office, and we're working through the kinks. They're not 100% perfect. We'll get there, but it allows the individual to scan their ID, and then it'll print out a tag if they're good to go. And staff isn't just a walk in our front office and grab and go thing. It's still the same thing, just not exchanging hands of IDs. And then Bark Alert's been a wonderful program as well. We've had some technical issues with Google recently that we're working through, but Bark basically it monitors. If our students type anything in email that say they have suicidal ideations, or they're being bullied, or they're thinking about bringing a weapon on campus, it flags that, and it'll immediately give the school administrator and then myself and one of the gentlemen in technology an email to say, hey, there's a Bark Alert you need to review. Then you can go in there and take a look at it, and sometimes it's not right, but sometimes it's something actionable, and it's something that we can get on top of. Over the summer, we actually had it happen where a student had reached out to a teacher, shared that he was having suicidal ideations, and we were able to get on it and help this student who happened to be on a vacation with his parents who had no idea. So this is just an overview of our response and safety teams. Again, it's been shared in other board meetings, but we're coming at safety from so many different angles. Our emergency operations center team that we just stood up last year has been a wonderful asset during emergencies like the public safety power shutoffs. And then we have our district and school safety committees. Every single school has a safety committee. We have our district one. Maintenance and operations, through our director of maintenance operations, he's set up his response teams in different teams. So like the public safety power shutoffs, they dispatch and they go and look at our sites before any of our employees have to go on. And then student services has their crisis response team. We have a student behavioral safety committee, and then again, hitting on the community emergency response team CERT, which there's actually a training coming up next weekend. I believe it's full, but there's going to be another one in February too. And employees get a $200 stipend. And for administrators, it's mandatory. But you get time off. So with all that information, are there any questions for the safety team?
That was very comprehensive.
Sorry, it's a lot.
That was phenomenal. I'm so impressed. I'm freezing. There was so much that stood out to me, but one of the things I really love, Michelle hit on, is that you aligned all the schools with the same protocols. I really like that. I think that's a great thing, because then that every school everybody is doing exactly what they need to do. And I just love that you're doing that with the bunkers and with all the safety protocols and everything, so great. But this was a great presentation. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Good job.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for creative stickers.
I just wanted to mention something because you have really detailed a lot of these things. I didn't know that there was a walkie-talkie protocol or etiquette. And when I had a walkie-talkie, well, I was like, and I was informed that you can't say stuff on that. But I'm glad that you guys are looking at every single thing and with a fine-tooth comb, because safety is so important. So I appreciate everything that you guys are doing, from this is huge, to the stickers, to getting the kids involved, down to these easy charts. I mean, I much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah, I would say that the progress we've made since that workshop, we discussed this initially, 2 years ago? Is it 2 years? Oh, well done. Good job.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Very good, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 4.02, Ed Services Community School Grant Updates.
Thank you, President Vogt. At this time, I'd like to call up Dr. Lauren Wiley and Ms. Kayla Gray for a presentation on and an update for Community Schools Grant.
Yes. Okay, good evening, Board President Vogt, Board of Education, Superintendent Binks, Cabinet, and YCJUSD community. I am Dr. Lauren Wiley, and I'm the YCJUSD Mental Health Services Coordinator. Joining me tonight is Kayla Gray, one of our 4 skilled behavioral health counselors. We're very excited to share how 2 new state-funded grant programs are helping us create amazing new mental health spaces for our students. Both are part of the Governor's Master Plan for Kids' Mental Health. Okay, so the Community Schools Grant is one of those initiatives, and this is a 5-year grant for us from 24 to 29, and we are thrilled that 5 of our schools were chosen by the state to become community schools. After listening to our community, we've prioritized social, emotional, and behavioral supports. A fantastic part of this grant are the new spaces. So we're planning calming sensory spaces at our elementary schools, Calamasa, Dunlap, and Valley. And we've already celebrated the grand opening of our new wellness centers at Oakview and Mesa View. Students and staff helped name them via a survey where they chose the Phoenix Nest at Oakview, which are the bottom 3 pictures, and the Mustang Hideaway at Mesa View, which are the top 3 pictures. These centers have been a total hit for sure. They're open all day, and students can pop in for up to 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more, to regulate and de-stress after checking in with their teacher first during class time. It really has been a game changer. It helps students get back on track quickly and keep them in school. Part of the benefit, so Parkview and Mesa View have done a fantastic job establishing wellness centers in the past. However, these are now fully staffed by mental health associates that we were able to hire through this grant. Okay, so since opening, the energy in these centers have been incredible. They've become a go-to spot for students and staff, and we've heard some amazing feedback that we'd like to share with you. Okay, so one of our Oakview students who graduated in the past came back to the back to school night tour, and they toured the wellness center. Oakview did an amazing job with the back to school night of the Phoenix Nest, and that graduated student told our mental health associate, Anna Resendiz, who staffs the center, "I wish this was here when I was here." We've seen seniors playing with kinetic sand and inviting other students to make sand castles with them in the containers. Some students even walk by just because it smells good, is what the feedback has been. During our grand opening for the Mustang Hideaway, thank you for attending, Board Member Miller. That was very nice. We had student guided tours, and some students would just start walking in. The students did a fantastic job, but the students coming in would just see it, and one goes, "This is like heaven on earth." It's just that initial feeling that was so palpable. Another student was sitting, hugging a weighted stuffed animal and said, sometimes you just need to hold something to feel better. And then students are already becoming ambassadors for the space because they really connect with the mental health associate there, Miss Monique Chides. The most powerful feedback we've heard from both centers is from students who said they chose to go to the wellness center instead of getting into a fight. They were getting escalated, and our staff already have become so well-versed at identifying, okay, let's try the wellness center. And they were saying 15 minutes, they were able to get them back to class. So a huge win for us all. Okay, so the Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, CYBHI for short, is another state-funded grant to support creating more dedicated spaces for one-on-one and small group mental health sessions for our mental health therapists, school psychologists, school counselors, and outside therapy providers who come on site. We're thrilled to eventually have about 20 mental health booths. The company we use is Zen Booth. However, right now we have an RFP out that will determine if it's going to continue to be Zen Booth or maybe a different product. So we would like to give a big shout out to business services, facilities, and our purchasing team, Amber Tavis, Dennis Klein, Leslie Williams, and Janine Stoles, for finding these rooms and ordering all the supplies to go in them. Also, we are deeply grateful to Adam Johnson's team and maintenance and operations for assembling them. It sounds like it takes about 1 day right now for them to assemble. They come in boxes, and I keep saying a large IKEA piece, but I know it's not that simple. Ultimately, the magic of all of these grants has lied in the genuine teamwork that has brought our entire district together. Now I'll hand it over to Kayla Gray, who will share her exciting experience using these booths and the incredible benefits they've brought our staff and students.
Hello. So these Zen booths, for the ones that we have, are just getting rolling. We're just getting the stuff in them. And they've already had such a positive impact on our schools and our staff. On the left, you'll see these are ones that images we pulled off of the website, so you can see kind of what they look like and how we can utilize them and how we can decorate them. On the right, these are two of our own Zen booths that we already have up and running. The top is our school psychologist at CECA. She's the one that has decorated that and made all of the modifications and all the furniture in there. And the bottom is actually one that I just set up yesterday or the day before at CECA, Chapman, sorry. And so as you can see, they're a work in progress, but we really, really love them. These booths provide a safe, comfortable space for where students can go and relax and regulate and access the mental health services that we have to provide. The space can be a challenge at all of our school sites, but these Zen booths have given not only myself, but our whole team a more consistent space to go and provide these services, a consistent space and an environment. And having that for our therapy sessions is very, very beneficial. It makes the process go maybe a lot easier because they're not looking around, they're not having to refamiliarize themselves with the environment. And then ultimately, we're really helping them in a quicker way to access their education and really perform well here at school. We are also seeing as a team that we can provide a lot more support with these booths at our schools. Because it's a dedicated space that is going to be prioritized to us so we can come in as the BHC team and also with our interns that we have. So this year at the high school, we have seen, and this is probably a conservative number, but 15 new therapy spots that have opened with the one Zen booth that we have that we utilize. And so that's huge, 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 huge. One student, we're just getting started and the kids are just starting to see these. So a funny thing that one student said is they walk in, they're like, wow, I can touch the ceiling. I really like this.
So 7 by 7 box.
Yeah.
It's a junior student. So
yeah. But it's cool to see the students come in and see like, oh, this is a space that I could use. And then one of the students at the elementary site, they walk in, they go, whoa. This is so cool. I can't wait to have sessions in here. So as new as they are, we're really seeing a positive impact in those kids wanting to be in them and utilize them. So we are so excited and so thankful that we have these and that we're getting more because it's just more access that we can provide our students to our mental health services. So thank you so much for your time tonight. Do you guys have any questions for us?
My impression with these is it's kind of like having your own little private clubhouse. It's where the little kids have the tent inside their room, and this is like, it's a little bit of a hub. That's very nice.
It was so nice to see the wellness center there at Mesa View. I was so impressed. It was so calming in there, and there's a lot of fun things to do in there, but I appreciated too what you had on the boards were Post-its for words of affirmation. You could take one or leave one. The coping skills, ideas for coping skills, great idea. Just all the different activities you can do, or just sit and hold one of those little stuffed animals, and it just was very calming, and I'm sure it does de-escalate and calm the kids, and that there's somebody always in there that they can talk to. It was amazing, and I'm thrilled that it was there, so I was thrilled to see it too.
Thank you for that feedback. And one of the benefits has been a decrease on the weight of the school counselors, so they're able to push out or focus on more academic because of that mental health associate, being able to channel a little bit more of the social emotional distress.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on to section 5 recognitions. I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm actually going to go to the podium. So, and I'd like to invite the leaders up. I go ahead and stand up right here. And all right. We all know how amazing she is, and she's finally being recognized for it. Callie, as we know, she's absolutely incredible. She's a mentor, and she's just an incredible superintendent, mentor, and individual. We are also happy to see her recognized in a way that she truly deserves at a state level. The Association of California School Administrators is the largest organization for school leaders in the United States, with more than 17,000 members. Aside from all of the amazing work they do advocating for public school students, they also invest in recognizing the state's most impactful leaders. Ms. Pinks. The Exemplary Women in Education Award is given to a select few school administrators each year, with Superintendent Binks being one of only 2 this year. The award is given to women leaders who serve as role models for other women, including myself, and demonstrate a passion for education, a commitment to grow and develop others, and has demonstrated commitment to give back to the community. When hearing that, Superintendent Binks is the first person who comes to mind, and I know we as a board cannot wait to celebrate this achievement with her at the Women in School Leadership Forum later this month. But before I say congratulations, wait, I would like to invite the individuals who nominated her for this award, Dr. Jason Engel, come on up and say a few words, and Antoinette Gutierrez. Welcome.
Just to be real brief, Antoinette came to me a few months ago and said, what do you think about nominating Callie for this award? And I thought for a moment, and I thought instantly, of course, she's the perfect person for this award. If you know Callie, nobody is more deserving than she for this award. She does so much for the district, but also beyond the district at the county level through SANDABs, and at the state level, I think it's through VICMAT, and she's making a positive impact everywhere. What you guys don't know is I go to regular meetings with the superintendents from the whole county, and these are from all of our districts. And if you don't know, Callie is a leader among leaders. All of those superintendents lead districts, yet Callie's voice carries the most weight. when there's a tough decision, when there's a tough topic coming up, like we've seen a lot recently, people look to Callie for her perspective and her leadership on things. And she always does it with wisdom, but a smile as well. You know, she's a true leader in the sense that she's so wise and smart, but the niceness is always there, right? Because nice matters, all right? And so I just want to say she makes a great impact, but also if you know Callie, if you ever meet her, she'll talk to you once and she'll know your name forever. It's a special talent she's had in both districts I've worked with her. And you'll know that when you meet with Callie, you'll know you felt valued, cared for, and listened to. You please add to that, Dr. Tears.
Okay, so the reason she came to mind is because about 10 years ago, I was going through my doctoral program. And I had the blessed opportunity to interview 16 superintendents, and Kelly was one of them. And when I did the interview, obviously to answer the questions, I got on her calendar. But not only did we finish the interview questions that I had to do to get my study done, but she spent time with me, and she was like, "What are your goals?" And so she started, asking me questions and really delving into my professional aspirations. And as a woman, in leadership, I was a principal at the time, high school principal at the time. She spent the time, and she didn't know me. She never knew me. I think we got connected by Dr. Marsden, right? By my current superintendent. So they just sent me along, and she really already took me under her wing. And so I remember that from way back when. So I want to thank you for that.
So just to conclude, Callie has made a huge impact district-wide, county-wide, statewide. But I never want to lose sight of the fact that she makes that impact one person, one relationship at a time. And Callie, just please know you're well loved by everybody who interacts with you. So thank you.
So we have this beautiful certificate that she saw us making, and we got this. So we have this and some flowers. And I believe that Kelly is here as well to help celebrate, and your daughter, correct? Would you like to say a few words?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm a crier, so wouldn't be me talking without a cry. But honestly, when you get to work with amazing people, and you're in an amazing county and in a state that just allows us to have these collaborative groups, you get to do things like support other people that you don't know, and it's a natural thing to do. To work in this community is amazing. To live in this community is amazing. The people that are here are amazing. And I'll just say, yesterday I was at TJ Maxx after work, and I got help picking out a pair of shoes. That's amazing. That's how we support each other. Well, yeah, but this is hard for me. I was sitting over there. In fact, Dawn, or is Dawn still here? I don't know. Dawn, I've rubbed all the stuff off the little calm guy because this is really uncomfortable for me. So I'd like another one. But I see Dr. Betters back there from the county, who's also been just an incredible support to me, and you all are, and we can't do it alone. And I just am appreciative I really am appreciative of the recognition and the time you took to put the award together. I laughed because Stella was out a few days, and Jason would call, and I was answering her phone, and he's like, "Where's Stella?" So I didn't catch on, but now I put the pieces together. So my beautiful husband, one of our beautiful children, we have 5, but we are just thank you for your support, because I'm not home very much, and I know that can be really hard. So thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, boss. Took her for a picture.
Here.
You want to put it on the floor?
Sharita, what about Sharita?
Do you want to put your?
Yeah.
Sharina. Oh, yeah, Sharina. Okay. Sharina. Sharina. Maybe they'll do a chant or something.
All the doctors on that side. Really better work
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And Kelly, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to everyone.
You didn't get Oh, Sharina? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you know.
Can we get one more round of applause for Superintendent?
All right, we get to recognize more amazing humans with our human resources.
Thank you, President Bowe, members of the board, Superintendent Binks and Cabinet, and everyone else who's able to join us tonight. This is definitely a night of celebration, and what we'd like to do tonight is celebrate another member of our community who has made wonderful contributions to our students, to our staff, and to our schools. I would like to invite up two principals who were kind of a part of this magic, Dana Carter and Kathy Gallagher. I think you both are here. Could I ask these two to join me up here if you could? I didn't tell you, but you should be here too. So for those of you who don't know, and maybe you remember a month or so ago, we did the district kickoff and we recognized some amazing individuals. And one of those amazing individuals was Kathy Schmidt, the district teacher of the year. And we were not able to formally recognize her at the last board meeting because in fitting fashion, Kathy was working at the type of adult school. And so obviously students always come first. Also, it's also fitting that we wait a little bit because in the interim, we have learned that Kathy Schmidt has been named a county-wide Teacher of the Year. So with all of that said, and all those amazing things, can I invite up the amazing Kathy Schmidt? So you get another fancy piece of paper. And let me just add a little bit more about Kathy. I know we've said some wonderful things already, and I'll let Dana and Kathy add anything if they'd like. But if you've ever been in Kathy's classroom, either at Oakview High School or at Yucaipa Adult School, Kathy's room, Kathy's classroom just oozes care. There's the instruction part, you see the literature, and you see the writing, and you see the ELA stuff. But when you step into her room, you kind of feel like you belong. And when you talk to her students at Oakview, they probably would stay in your class all day if you let them. Or if you talk to the adult students at the Yucaipa Adult School, they are reconnecting their lives. And Kathy, we can't say enough of what a big impact you've made on our entire community. So very well deserved at the district and county level. So congratulations. Dana, would you like to add anything?
Kathy, as Jim shared, you are amazing, and we're grateful for all that you do. And many of our board members have been present at our graduation ceremonies. We have yet to have one where a student isn't thankful for all that you have done. You truly make a difference and change the lives of our students. So thank you for all you do.
Okay. Unconditional love is what you experience when you meet Kathy and you walk into her classroom. And there's this gift that she has of unconditional love, but also high standards and expectation. You will not see students misbehaving in Mrs. Schmidt's class.
So with admiration, respect, and love from myself and the whole Oakview staff there, we love you, Kathy, and you are admired and respected by all of us and our students. It shows each and every day in all that you do. Professionalism off the charts, and when the admin there gets stressed and overwhelmed, I go see Kathy. And I say, are we okay? She's, yeah, we're okay. So thank you for all the support you give all of us and the way you lift us up. We love you.
Hi. You know, Kathy has done so many amazing things, and we have just amazing teachers and employees across the district. I mean, there's so many gifts that they bring every day. First, the gift is themselves, and then the gift is all their talents and the extra things that they do. And when Oakview was really the first school I went to and had the opportunity to participate in a young women's tea that she would do every year with China and wonderful food, and your mom was involved doing things and making things for the students, and she did that so that she could instill their self-esteem and make sure that they knew that they could have these fancy things. It was a very formal setting. And then I take that and then you put it next to one of the last times I saw Kathy at the end of the school year. I was going to go visit her, and she was sitting on the floor in the doorway with a student that was really having a meltdown. And as much as I wanted to give Kathy a hug so she could take care of the student, I knew it wasn't my place to interrupt. But those are the two extremes that you see in Kathy's leadership in her classroom. And in all that still fosters a love for English and fosters a love. I've heard many of our adult education students say how wonderfully you deliver things to them, then they don't ever feel like they can't be successful in your classroom. And these are people that are coming back after years and years of being away from the classroom. And so you breed that confidence and they make the self-esteem that makes them feel important so that they can go on with their lives and do amazing things. So thank you so much, and thank you for doing that for me as well. I just appreciate you.
Thank you. It's such a tremendous honor, seriously. And thank you to God, first and foremost. But like it's been echoed, I've been at Oakview for many years, and the very first, even before school started, I was in my classroom on the floor crying when I walked in. It was a terrible mess. And it was Trevor, who's sitting over here with me today. And this is 16, 17 years later. So we are a family. You know, I know a lot of schools say that, but it is different at Oakview. It is very different. I say once you get Oakview in your blood, it doesn't leave you. And we are a Phoenix family. In fact, I was surprised just the other day. I've literally been parking in the same parking spot for 15 years. And it's an obscure parking spot, so it's not like a real coveted parking spot, but it is to me. And since we had the wonderful addition at the adult school of the VTP program, obviously they don't know. Because in the mornings, my spot is taken. And one day, just 2 days ago, I was surprised with my personalized parking spot. How they got this pulled off through like legal channels, I don't know. I know Callie had to be involved in that, but they painted a giant heart in my parking space, reserved, put my name in it, Mrs. Schmidt, Teacher of the Year, and it was a team. And it was kind of funny. I don't want to take up too much time, but I had shown up in the morning and it was just the heart in my spot and it was coned off. And I was like, what? Is this for me? And again, here comes Trevor again. I'm like, Trevor, there's a heart in my spot. I don't know, like, is that for me? And he just like deadpan face, no. I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, no, it's for the blood mobile. I'm like, it didn't, no crack whatsoever. And I was like, maintenance would allow that? You're like, yeah. They're like, okay. But then at the end of the day, I walked out. It was really for me. So you did a good job, Trevor. And this whole staff for keeping it a secret, because it's hard to keep a secret in such a small campus. But I feel truly loved and honored to work at Oakview and serve our most sensitive student group that really needs the best to serve them. So thank you to everybody. See? Nice. Trying to get away. Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations.
All right, at this time, moving on to public comments. We have one person this evening. I believe it's Mrs. Woodard.
You're gonna need to couch. It's only like this. She got it.
I appreciate it. All right. Good evening, President Bogue, Superintendent Binks, members of the board and cabinet. First, I want to acknowledge the incredible dedication of our teachers and staff. Over the past year, I've seen firsthand their tireless commitment to our students. They go above and beyond, not just in the classroom, but also mentoring students, staying late for extra help, and creating a supporting learning environment. Secondly, at CECA, we believe in continually growing as leaders and educators. Each year, we not only work to deepen our understanding of the International Baccalaureate program, we also participate in school-wide goals to support our students' academic success. Last year, for example, we devoted countless hours to school-wide professional development in mathematics, including participating in book clubs and professional opportunities that broadened our understanding of the mathematical mindsets and building thinking classrooms. Many show their commitment by participating in conferences and professional development on the weekends and on their breaks, often paying for things out of their own pockets. This dedication is a testament to their passion for education and their commitment to our students. This year, we have come together to strengthen our understanding of writing. Our teachers have all been trained in Step Up to Writing and are implementing new strategies and supports that will increase our students' writing achievements. Many of my colleagues will also participate in a book study on the Writing Revolution 2.0 this year. While it's always wonderful to celebrate our successes, we must also take time to address a critical issue that affects our entire community, the mental health of our students and staff. While we've made great strides in supporting our students and providing them with the opportunities to receive supports, I believe we must do more to expand mental health resources for our teachers. We are in an era of unprecedented teacher burnout, which is primarily driven by the ongoing teacher shortage. This is due to the increasing professional demands, unsafe working conditions, and the fear of public and social scrutiny, not to mention the compensation that is simply not a livable wage in California. We cannot expect our teachers to pour from an empty cup. If we want to continue fostering a safe and supportive environment for our students, we must first ensure our educators are supported. After 29 years of experience as an educator, I'm willing to be a little vulnerable with the board tonight. and share an experience that I have had regularly. All of the students in my classroom and on our campuses need love, but some require countless redirections and supports daily to regulate their emotions. Each year, this emotional demand grows. While doing this, we ourselves become emotionally drained. I have spent an entire day extensively working with just a single student to accommodate their needs and help them regulate their emotions, all while trying to instruct and support 24 other little kinders. By the end of the day, I'm exhausted and I am an emotional wreck. I find myself constantly asking, what am I doing wrong? How can I help them? What other interventions and supports can I try? But not once during this time do I stop to think about how this is affecting my own emotional well-being. Unfortunately, this story is not unique to me. Many of my colleagues experience this every single day. We are constantly being asked to pour from an empty cup. My cup has been emptied. In conclusion, we have so much to celebrate in our district, but we also have areas where we can grow. By working together to address this critical need for more robust mental health supports, we can ensure that our schools remain a place where every teacher feels supported, safe, and ready to make a difference in the lives of their students. Thank you for the opportunity to share this evening.
Thank you, Dawn. As stated before, we will be skipping section 7, moving on to section 8, discussion action. We do have a presentation from the business services.
We do. Amber Tavis is going to lead the board through our unaudited actuals financial report for the 24-25 school year.
Hi,
Welcome back.
good evening, President Vogt, members of the board, Superintendent Binks and Cabinet. I just want you to know that I do have an amazing team, but they're not here. They just make me do it on my own. So they're here in spirit, I guess. So as stated, I'm here to present the district's 24-25 unaudited actuals. This is probably one of my favorite parts, which I know is really nerdy, but that's just the case. Because budget is fluid and can change as the district needs. The actuals are concrete numbers that actually happened. But just like concrete, they can be changed, and can be torn apart and changed. And that's when our auditors come in, and I'll go into that later, but that's why they're called unaudited actuals. So the auditors need to come in and look at our financials, and they could be changed at that point. But I'll go into that later. This is our breakdown of the 24-25 unrestricted general fund revenues. And like I said, these are concrete numbers. So what we're looking at is around $107 million in revenue. As you can see, 95% of that, so pretty much all of it, comes from our local control funding formula, or the LCFF funding. And that is the funding that we get for our average daily attendance, our ADA for our students that come to school. 2% is other state revenues, and that's revenues such as lottery funds. So I know a lot of times people will say, well, you get a lot of funds from the lottery, but it only makes up around 2%. So really what we would like is that instead of investing in the lottery, our parents invest in bringing their kids to school and letting them learn at school instead. The other 3% is just other local funds, which is interest, leases, and just general revenues.
And federal.
So that little federal bit is actually $4,000. And because this is the unrestricted general fund.
Unrestricted.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha, thank you.
You're welcome. That's why I didn't really break it down, because it was $4,000.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to leave it out either. So of this $107 million, we spent $106 million in expenditures in the unrestricted general fund. Not much changes here from what was in the budget, so that's good news. We were around 73% in payroll and benefits for unrestricted revenue or expenditures. The contributions part I'm going to go into on the next slide, but that is mostly payroll and benefits as well. So I'll break that one down on the next one. So our contributions from general fund are broken up in two spots. So we have our special education contribution that we have to contribute to make up the difference of the revenue received and the expenditure spent in our special ed department. So the $11 million isn't what we spent in special ed. We spent way more than that, probably around $23 million. But this portion is just what the general fund has to kick in to make up for what we don't receive in revenue specifically for special ed. Out of this, not this 11 million, but out of the 23 million that we spent, 88% of it goes to payroll and 12% goes to materials and services and the other part of that. On the other end of it, we have our maintenance and operations contribution that we have to make. It's a required contribution of 3% of our total general fund expenditures. So that came out to around 3.9 million. 74% of that is payroll, and then 26% is materials and services and others as well. This is kind of a breakdown of our one-time categorical funds that are, they will expire. And if you notice, 5 of them are actually expiring this year in June of 2026. We've spent these funds accordingly, how they were supposed to be spent, but we still have another year to expend the rest of them. I'm going to be working with our Ed Services team to find new homes for these expenses as well, because as they're going away, we're going to have to figure out how to pay for them in the future. So we'll be meeting together and figuring out new homes for these expenses. So this is a breakdown of our average daily attendance, or ADA, by school site. It's really simple math. It's just their ADA divided by their enrollment by site. And then it gives us our percentage. Just wanted to kind of shout out Valley and Wildwood and their teams. They're doing exceptionally well. They're a lot over 94%. All the other sites are doing amazing as well. They're all been very engaging and getting their students in class, and they're doing really great. Overall, we're at 92% or 92.12% district-wide. We're hoping to up that amount and for next year, and we're really hoping that attendance recovery will also help with that as well. I put this in here because a lot of people don't know, but CECA's financials are actually part of our financials. So they're actually audited with us. They're under Fund 09, if you ever want to look it up. But this is kind of a breakdown of it. The revenues were around $10 million and their expenditures were around 9.5 million. So that brings their ending fund balance to about 2.4 million. Their ADA, or average daily attendance, was 679 and their enrollment is 709. So they're actually at around 96% ADA. So they're doing really well. Huge shout out to CECA. So as I said, our next steps, so our independent auditors are scheduled to come visit us next week. As I stated before, these numbers are concrete, but they can also change them at that time, if that's the case. Then it would be in their audit report that they need to get to the state by December 15th. This is kind of a side note. People make fun of me because I have an English degree instead of a math degree. But I don't know if you've ever read an audit manual, but I have. And I'm not saying you need an English degree for this position, but I'm just saying it hasn't. It's done me well lately. So I don't think that we'll have a problem with our audit at all. But if there is anything in it, and even if there's not, a representative from our audit firm, CWDL, will present the 24-25 audit report to the Board of Education at the January board meeting. And I promise you it'll be brief. So. I promise. With that, if you guys have any questions, I am very willing to answer them.
All right, we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, upon hearing that presentation, can I get a motion for approval of the 2024-2025 unaudited actuals financial report?
So moved.
A second?
I got a first by Avila and a second by Bannister. All those in favor? Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to item number 8.02, business services. We have, can I get a motion for approval on this one?
Move to approve.
8.02.
A second.
Who was my first?
Ms. Cruz.
I got first by Cruz, a second by
Miller.
Miller. Any discussion on this item? All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion approves. Motion is approved with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to 8.03, business services. This is the LOR, which is it's funny, I want to say laboratory, I don't know why, but lab, an LOR for Yucaipa High School. And this is, can I get a motion for approval on this?
Move approval.
Are we on 8.03? Actually, I need to back up. On this one, I actually need to recuse myself for the next, for the next two items, as they pertain to the softball field, which I have relatives working on those two items, so I'm going to recuse myself and step out. Clerk Miller is going to take over.
All right, 8.03, it's to approve the increase to the approved proposal for the LOR with Converse Consultants for the softball field and weight room project at Yucaipa High School. Do I have a motion?
I have a question for that. So is it additional 160?
It is an addition. We had some testing that we were not anticipating that we had to do. I think I told you about the sinkhole and we had some soil testing that needed to be done. So we needed to extend our contract. And then Clerk Miller, if I could give the board an update, I could do it after the vote that I did.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Well, and I'll move approval of the.
Okay, and a second. Board Member Bannister moved and Ms. Cruz second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, that's 4. That passes. All right, you want to talk about that one?
No, I can do after you.
After, okay. And then 8.04, this is to approve the proposal provided by Frederick Reyes to complete the duties as the inspector of record for the softball field and weight room project at Yucaipa High School. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And second?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Board Member Avila and a second by Board Member Cruz. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye and it passes. So, go for it.
Thank you. Just wanted to provide the board and the public a little update. Mr. Klein was unable to be here this evening and he was going to do this, but I just wanted to let you know where we're at with the high school project. So we're not completely done per se. We are moving in that direction. We still need to pull electrical to get power to the weight room, and the transformer is on its way. The company can finish inside the repair and get everything going, so that's going to be taken care of. We're still working on our storm drain that's behind the home bleachers, but the bridge that goes from the bleachers to the softball field is almost complete. So that is going to be great. That's going to create a nice path of travel, ADA accessible to the bathrooms. And on the softball side of the project, they're working on the outfield to prep the soil for new sod, and they are working on completing the backstops. The trees and the shrubbery should be done soon, and we will be able to get some seal coating done to finish off the groundwork. So we're behind, we're not on time, but I know that both companies that are working, all the companies that are working there are working diligently to get off the campus. They want to, they have other projects to move on to. There have been some delays that have been caused by different reasons. We've had opportunities to talk about that, but it looks like that the final seal coat slating should be done on October 6th, which is a non-student day. And we will finally be able to give the Yucaipa High School back Yucaipa High School without having a lot of extra people on there doing work. So we're getting there. It's taken longer than we had hoped, but when things come up, we've had to just address them, and I've appreciated not only Yucaipa High School's patience, but the principal and all the team there, everyone, our parents, because parking and driving has been difficult. But we appreciate the board's support in helping us to do these things fluidly so we can get them done as quickly as possible.
Okay. Moving on to item 8.05, business services. I need a motion for approval to accept the designation of applicant's agent resolution from the State of California Governor's Office for Emergency Services.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion on this item? No? All right, I have a first by Miller and a second by Bannister. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Item number 8.06. This is actually a public hearing. So at this time, I need to call that hearing to order. And the hearing will open at 7:51 p.m. Any public comment for this hearing? Seeing none. Any questions or discussion from anyone on the cabinet or board? All right, hearing none. No, yes.
Well, I could just give a little bit of information, President Vogt. This is an annual action that we have to do, is have a public hearing every year in the beginning of the school year within a certain number of days from the first day of school to ensure that we have adequate instructional materials at every school site for our students.
Any questions after the comments there? All right, hearing none, I will close this hearing at 7:52. Okay, that was the first one, so this is just discussion. Correct. All right, moving on to 8.07, educational services. Do I need a motion for approval on the Friendly Losser MOU?
Deb, you want to be the one to do that?
Yes, she does.
So moved.
And a second from, all right. I have a first from Clerk Miller and a second from Board Member Cruz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes with a 5-0 vote.
Yay.
Moving on to item 8.08. Need to have, can I get a motion for approval of the purchase of Cisco WebEx calling for education from CDW?
Second.
All right, I have a first from Clerk Miller and a second from Board Member Bannister. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to item number 809. Can I get a motion for approval for the Kaiser Foundation Hospital's MOU and authorize the superintendent or designee to sign the agreement?
So moved.
Second.
First by Avila, second by Bannister. Do I have any discussion on this one or information?
Have we done this before?
Flu clinic?
Yeah.
Yes, we did previously, and then when we had a gap in having a director, and I had to fill in, it was me on my watch, and we needed more staff, we stopped doing it, just because it was a lot on our staff to try and do that as well and run the clinic.
Right.
So now, since we're fully staffed and our nurse is ready to go with it, so we're partnering again with them.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion on that one? All right, I have first by Avila, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the second.
Second by Bannister, all those in favor? Aye. Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. That is item 8.09. We have to go back to 8.6. We do have to have a vote on this.
So moved.
First by Avila,
Second.
second by Miller, all those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to item 8.10, we are conducting another hearing for the San Bernardino Community County College District Crafton Hills College Career Access Pathways Dual Enrollment Partnership. I will open the hearing at 7:54. Do I have any public comment for this hearing? Seeing none, do I have any comments from the cabinet? All right. At this time, I vote before I close. Okay? Close first. All right. All right. I would like to close the hearing at 7:56. And then upon conducting a public hearing and approval for the 2025 to 2028 College and Career Access Pathways Dual Enrollment Partnership Agreement with the San Bernardino Community College District on behalf of Crafton Hills, can I get a motion for approval for that? And a second, with a first from Cruz and a second by Avila. All those in favor?
Comment before we vote?
Sure.
I would just like to say that this is a very important partnership. As a member of the Crafton Hills College Scholarship Foundation, for me, it's personal that the high schools and the district partners with our community college because it's an excellent pathway. It's very inexpensive, recognizing not all children will be able to go to college or want to go to college, but we need to maintain this partnership as much as we can and to keep it nurtured and keep it moving forward so our students will always have the ability to move ahead at a faster pace than normal. And with that, I'm proud to support this.
I agree. Can we get a vote on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to 8.11. Approval of the purchase of updated new line onboard computers. Can I get a motion for approval?
Move approval.
Bannister, and a second.
Second.
From Avila, any discussion or questions?
I just, those, when we first got those, I just remember, well, I don't want one of those in my room. And walking into the high school the other day, and somebody had like 3 or 4 of them in their room, so it's awesome, and they're being used very effectively.
Yes, I use one daily, and they're phenomenal. Any other comments, questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to item 8.12. Looking for approval on a revised board policy 4154, employee compensation. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second. Any discussion on the subject? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote for first on Miller and a second on Cruz, Stella. All right, moving on to the consent calendar. Are there any items that need to be pulled for consideration on the consent calendar? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion for approval of the consent calendar as listed?
Move to approve.
Avila and as a first and a second from Bannister. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. All right, looks like we have a business services acceptance of donations. Do we have any discussion on this? Is there any presentation, anything? All right, just any have questions on this one? 9.04? Okay,
Thank you very much.
yep, all right. Moving on, that was consent, right? So where are we? Oh, hold on. 10, right? Okay. Information, item 10.01 from business services. Do we have any information on this or any questions?
No information needed for this, however, this is a first review, and we'll be working with our high schools, middle schools, and elementaries just to make sure everyone understands the suggestions that are in the policy.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? All right, moving on to item 10.02, is also a first review for board policy 3580. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, moving on to 10.03. Looking at first review for revised board policy 4158, employee security. Any questions or comments on this item from either side? Moving on to 10.04, revised board exhibit 4040, employee acceptable use agreements. Any questions or comments from the board? All right. Moving on to 10.05. You good, Chair?
Yep.
Okay. State of California Prop 28, art and music school funding. Any questions or comments on this from the board? Information from
Thank you, President Bogue. At this time, I'd like to call up our Teaching and Learning Director for Elementary, Ms. Jewel DeSosa, to give a presentation. According to law, each year that we have to give an annual report for our Proposition 28 funds that help with our arts and music school funding. So our new director, Ms. DeSosa, is going to help us with that.
Good evening, President Borg, members of the board, Superintendent Binks, and Executive Cabinet. My name is Jewel DeSosa, and I'm honored to be the new Director of Teaching and Learning focused on education, and I have the privilege of sharing the annual report and updates with Proposition 28 tonight. So a little bit of background. So it was voter approved in November 2022, and it provides new ongoing funding resources. We're sourced through Prop 98, and the funding began in 2023 to 2024, and it focuses on instruction and staffing. And so one requirement is that the funding is captured in the school plan for student achievements, or SIPSAs for the school plans. Another requirement is that 80% of the funding goes to arts and music instructional staff, with 20% going to training and supplies and materials to support the program. It's supplemental, it does not supplant, so it's meant to enhance and boost the student experiences, not to replace anything. Another thing is that we're required to give an annual report, and there's a fiscal audit involved as well. Okay. With the allocations, it was allocated based on enrollment. So you can see here by school site, we have about over 1.2 million allocated by school site, and it was again based on enrollment. So you can see the larger schools have a larger allocation because they have a larger population they serve, but some other schools having a smaller population because it's again it was based on enrollment. So there's just some background information in terms of allocation of Prop 28 to the school sites. So far for what we spent for expenditures for 2024-2025 school year, so there is a ceramic kiln and ceramic supplies purchase, stage curtains at multiple sites, theater materials, scripts, costumes, camera lenses, tripods, lighting, and other photography equipment, video production equipment, updated audio and art, sound, professional grade equipment is what we provided for our students because they're really in that lens and that experience of being able to perform and be able to be a producer, a performer, and really engaging in the arts. So all of this really enhances student performance and their experience, and with that, it builds their confidence. So instruments were replaced, and drum set, sheet music, trombones, and you can see here other printable materials, vinyl, graphic design materials, school assemblies, step-by-step political, imagination machine, and then field trip opportunities as well were provided to our students last school year. So we're very excited to be able to do that. We were able to maintain our district-wide art and music program through Prop 28. And again, it enhanced our sound, lighting, and stage equipment, giving our students that true experience of being able to put together a production for our students in our community. We were able to purchase instruments, repaired broken instruments, again, giving the students the equipment they need.
We were able to update art supplies and add music, drama, art, and dance opportunities for our students. Last school year, there was a full-time or equivalent teacher, so added, and then a part-time, and we were able to serve 7,754 students and supporting 12 of our school sites, not including in the 12 is CECA, since they are a charter school and they have their own funding with Prop 28. So we're excited for the 25-26 school year. What we included or added to our program to serve our students was 4 visual and performing arts teachers. So we are now providing dance, art, music, and theater to all our students, TK through high school or TK through high school. So we're providing that. I'm super excited because we're able to really provide that again to our littlest students, our little scholars here. And our VAPA supports VAPA support personnel in music classes. So we have some support in those classes as well, just for the management of it. There's continued chair music teacher and continued growth with supplies and opportunities and experiences for all of our students. And so we're really excited to be able to, again, enhance and supplement our music and arts program through Prop 28 and through this funding. I was able to see our dance teacher, Miss Lindy, in action at Valley, and just the joy. It was her first day doing it with the students, and just the joy they had going out there and seeing kids come out of their comfort zone, and then it built a little curiosity for the other kids that saw it, and they were going to try it next time, right? And so we were able to just kind of see what that brought live at the school site, and then I was able to also see how they will be supporting STARS, our STARS after school program, and got to see her in action as well, serve a couple of grade levels. And so structuring the VAPA program so that it really supports the needs of our schools was a privilege to see, and that we're going to continue to support the work. On a personal note, I was able, as a parent, I see how VAPA has really increase the confidence and the discipline and leadership of my own children. So again, I'm very excited and honored to be able to be in a district where we're providing those opportunities, starting at TK all the way up. Do you have any questions that I could try to answer?
I just have one.
Sure.
On the first slide, I think it said it's a 3-year cycle. What is that?
That means that we have 3 years to spend the money that's allocated to the school sites.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Sounds great.
It does.
Thank you.
All right, any additional administrative comments or information?
Well, I'm excited that our safety team that's been working so hard got a chance to present, and that was a vision that this board has had. So appreciate that you have supported that, and as you heard in public comment, it's important that we continue to focus on safety, and we will be doing that, and well-being. We have a lot of programs that through student services, educational services, and then of course through the safety department and the business department, we're working diligently on those things. And I want to compliment our staff because like Dr. Riley going out for the grant, the community schools grant, just looking for those little opportunities, fostering partnerships to get cameras to see, which ones work the best. And so we're making really good use of our money at the same time that we're spending it. So that's good. So we want to spend it. We talk about this year's money, this year's kids. So this year's money also on our employees so that we can create a safe environment. So we are going to be bringing back fencing for different projects. So we'll probably have that either on the next agenda or November. And then also thank the board for their for the honor tonight. I can't say too much because I'll just get all emotional, but I just appreciate it so much, and the nomination. But it takes, as Stella and Lance and JV Jim know, and Chris and Michelle know, it takes a village to raise a superintendent. So the award should go to them. They do. We have so much support for one another, but I just am very honored. So I thank you for that. And I just one more thing about Miss Schmidt. Her daughter wrote the most, I wish I could have read it out loud, but she wrote the most beautiful email about how honored she felt that her mom was honored, and that that's what she wants to be like when she grows up, and that a district, an employer would recognize the beauty in her mom was just very, very special to her. So I wanted to share that with you. I scared her because I tried to go hug her and I realized it was the wrong daughter. But stranger danger. But I wanted you to know that when these things, when we do these things and take the time, it meant the world to me, but taking the time to have that painted on her, that was a great idea by Mrs. Gallagher. It meant the world to not only her, but her daughter, and we're setting really good examples of how to treat people. So thank you for that.
I just wanted to add to what Mrs. Binks was talking about. I really appreciate Dr. Wiley's leadership with our community schools grant, especially leading, actually both grants that we had last year. I don't mean to harp on being short staffed last year, but Dr. Wiley really stepped up. She actually counseled me at times. I appreciated that. But in all seriousness, she's really leading that work, and also the work of our behavioral health counselors and also our school counselors, and trying to fill the gaps at our sites that don't have that grant funding, and really trying to be creative in that. We really appreciate all your support, especially at Parkview and the high school that are planning on their wellness centers as well. We appreciate you very much.
Board member comments? Mr. Robert?
Yes. Hi, guys. Just real fast. Raise your hand if you're a parent and not a teacher in the school district. So we have 2, 3. Well, my comment was going to echo a little bit what Superintendent Binks talked about, and echo the appreciation of the safety team, including Lance Bradley, Michelle Acosta, and Tim Ryan. As you probably know, my past occupation was in public safety, and it's very near and dear to my heart that our school district maintains a very safe environment, especially in times of disasters. We obviously have the 2 environmental dangers, but we also have another sociological component since the mid-'80s, and now we have another layer that we have to protect ourselves and our children in our schools. To Mrs. Madrid's point of the empty cup, there are resources and programs that might be available at the school level. I do need to talk to the superintendent and the executive staff about things like that. So I don't want to mention anything, but in my experience as a firefighter, we had resources where we had peer counseling and things like that. Maybe that might be a tool that we might be able to use at the individual schools. And for us who are parents, when we're at school, we have all the things we might need in the event of a disaster, but we don't have anything at home. I would encourage everybody to prepare themselves with a disaster preparedness kit that can sustain you for 72 hours, including food, water, and other means of shelter for not only for your family and yourself, but for your pets. And encourage everybody to take a CERT class. As Lance mentioned, that our CERT classes are around, we have them year round. And if you haven't taken one, please take one. It's a good first aid kind of program that teaches you how to take care of yourself and your neighbors in times of need. And I, as an instructor and as a professional in the field, it's a very, very valuable tool, and it'll give you the confidence when, if you ever have to use it. That's it.
Member Cruz?
Well, hello, everybody. I wanted to, again, congratulate Kelly. She's been a tremendous role model. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm going to cry too. But very well deserved. And congratulations to Kathy. I believe she left, but I really want to, emphasize that
these awards are huge awards, and it really shows the caliber of Yucaipa Calimesa School District, of what staff that you guys, or that we have, and getting these recognitions on a regular basis. I don't know how many times I stand up there taking pictures, but I will do that every single time to recognize what great work everybody is doing here. And so I appreciate being here and with you guys to congratulate you. I wanted to also say, with some music behind me, so I thank you. I feel like I'm on a podcast. Hello, yes, this is Regina Cruz. I wanted to mention, I want to say it was maybe less than 3 board meetings ago when Friendly Fosters came and sat at public comment and said, hey, we would like to be a part of this school district, and this is how we can benefit you guys. And within that time, the quick action, and if I leave it out, I know it's Jamie sat and talked to her, and Tyson was there after that meeting and corralled this person and talked to her and made things happen where it's on the board today. So I commend them for the quick response of the urgency of this. And I'm sure Debbie had a couple of words to say with them to encourage that as well. And I know I did as well to emphasize how important. So I want to appreciate and thank Jamie and Tyson for seeing the value of bringing dental hygiene and preventiveness to the schools. So thank you. And if I left anybody that helped you, I thank them as well too. I also appreciate the presentations that you guys do. Amber, I always love how you make the numbers add up. And that's the only pun I got. So for that, that's it. And Jewel, I don't know if she's still here. She's fairly new at this job, and what a great presentation. I love the music and the arts. I feel like I can sing like Mariah Carey, but people have said not. But I love how it really embraces the kids, the children's creativity and passion. And so thank you so much for doing that presentation. And I do see the passion when you go up there and speak. So thank you very much for what you're doing on your job, and it's a new job. So keep it going. Good luck to you. And first and last, but certainly not least, the safety committee. I'm so glad that you have a posse now, Lance, and that you are doing such tremendous work. And you know, David said it so well that, you know, we've been talking about safety, and you can talk all you want about safety, but actually doing it, I can see it and see what you have put into it with your posse or your team or, you know, whatever you want to call it. And I appreciate that so much, and keep the great work going. And I think that's all I got. Happy September.
So all those things, but I also, you know, to what Dawn mentioned in public comment about taking care, I see so much growth in this district in that respect. For all the years that I've been involved, it's not perfect. It's never, ever going to be enough. It always needs to be an area to work on, to keep lifting ourselves up. But I think under the leadership of Mrs. Binks, we do a very fine job of that, of working on it, of lifting people up, of recognizing what they do. And I'm just so proud of us. I mean, it's lovely to come to these meetings because we spend time doing that. It's the safety committee when we recognize the maintenance and operations, when we recognize nutrition, we recognize the arts, we recognize individuals. Kathy, my goodness, what a hard worker. And she's just the teacher that we recognize, that we give the award to, because there can only be one of those Teacher of the Year. We have so many people. I also want to say, I was at the high school for their, what was that? Was that back to school night? It was a carnival. It was a festival. It was a celebration of wonderful opportunities at our high school. My goodness, remember when people were afraid of the high school? I don't think that's going to be the case for a while anyway. It was so wonderful. And that took a huge effort on the part of that whole campus. So that's the kind of stuff that we do. And I think that we do it because we have the kind of leadership that cares so deeply about the individuals that work here. That just comes through. I just can't say how vastly different this place is than it has been in years past. It's wonderful. And I really appreciate you, Callie. And everybody that goes along with her crazy things.
Gosh, all those nice things. I'm not prepared for anything, but I do just want to say congratulations, Callie. Well deserved. I couldn't do this position without you. I have always so many questions, and you're always there. I'm trying not to cry. One of the things that I said to her yesterday, because her and I had a big old long conversation, was when you're with her, she has so much on her plate, so much, that she listens to you. She doesn't look at her watch. She might have to take a phone call. I get that. But she doesn't act like she needs to leave. Even though I know she has a lot to do, she makes you feel like you are the most important person at that moment. I know she doesn't just do it to me or the board. She does it to everybody. And I think that is one of the main things in your leadership, is that you find importance in everybody and what they have to say. So anyways, congratulations. And Dawn, thank you for always, I'm not, the little goodies are nice, but your presentations are always great. And I do appreciate that. So the goodies are great, but you don't have to do that. Your presentations are awesome. I guess that's it for now.
Well, I was able to actually get to quite a few of the back to school nights, and I think they were each in their own way wonderful and surprising and comforting. So like you said, it was a carnival. I felt like that on more than one campus, and I really liked the format that we used this year in high school. And I think we did that a little bit more at the elementary schools as well. But great job, you guys. It was really wonderful. It was nice to meet the teachers. I just walked around. I didn't tell you I was there sometimes, but it was wonderful to meet you guys and the parents. And so thank you for putting on a good show, all of you. And I'd just like to reiterate. I mean, she said it so beautifully. I'm not going to be here. Yes. And then this evening we are journeying in a memorial. And after I read this a little bit, I am going to pass the mic to Board Member Bannister for just a minute. This evening, the Board of Education will adjourn in memory of two former employees who served the district with dedication. Mildred Millie Heddick served as the instructional aide in 1982 and later supported students in special education at Parkview and Canyon Middle Schools. She retired in 2004 after 22 years of service and passed away on June 18, 2025. Dr. Philip Mercy served the district in many roles, including teacher, principal, and ultimately assistant superintendent of educational services, before retiring in 2002. He passed away on July 16, 2025. We extend our heartfelt condolences to their families and honor their lasting contributions to our district. Member Bannister.
I just wanted to remind, if you haven't heard, Phil Mercy's favorite story was about the starfish that get washed up onto the sand. And there's one person that's standing there and just throwing the starfish back into the sea, and other people walk by and say, you know, you're never gonna get them all. He says, well, save that one, save that one. And when that story first came around, being the cynical person that I was when I was a teacher, I was like, yeah, that's fine, Phil. But you know, he lived that. And Millie was my aide. And Millie lived that. I can't tell you the scores of squirrely middle school kids that she organized and whipped into shape and helped do work that they had missed and got them through. And maybe taught them a little bit about study skills. There are two individuals that had a huge impact during my career, and I think had a legacy at the district. I'm glad that we are honoring them.
Meeting's adjourned at 8:24 p.m.